Terry Morris. This class is for golfers. It's designed to strengthen, lengthen, and balance, and get you ready for golf. What you'll need is a golf club. Have one ready. I prefer the driver because the stretches I'll show you with the driver you can do right at the first tee box while you're waiting for your turn. You might want a block if you have it, or anything sort of this size might be helpful in supporting you in a couple poses. And a blanket perhaps to help your knees if anything is a little strenuous. You can place it under your knee or in the knee crease to decrease flexion. All right, let's get started. Okay, meet me in seated, cross-legged, comfortable. This is called easy pose, although it is not easy for everybody. You might want to take your block or blanket and raise your hips up a little bit. It might be a little more comfortable for you. We won't stay here long. Placing your hands on your knees, thighs. Going inward, closing your eyes. And lengthening your breath with each inhale and exhale. As you exhale fully, just when you think your lungs are empty, use the muscles just below your belly button to push out even more, allowing for a deeper inhale. This is where you shut your mind off of thinking about the past or the future and just going inward and being in here now. Mindfulness is very important in golf. Being mindful of your task at hand. And shutting out all the noise. And opening your eyes. You should be feeling just a little more grounded, calm, focused. All right, let's get started. We'll just come to our hands and knees. Tabletop position. And do a little cat-cow for our spine. So as you exhale all the air out of your belly, you're going to arch your back up like a cat. Drop your head, drop your tailbone. Get a nice stretch. And then as you inhale, we'll transition, dropping that belly, lifting your tailbone and your head to the sky, getting a nice stretch in the front of your torso, throughout your spine. And exhale, back into cat. Moving with your breath. Inhale, drop your belly. Very nice. Meet me in neutral here. We're going to do a thread the needle, which is very good for your shoulders and your range of motion. So take your right hand, placing it more central, putting your weight into that right hand, lifting the left one up to the sky. I know this is strenuous for a lot of people, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then we're going to bring it through and thread the needle under your other arm and bring it back up. Inhale it up. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale back up. And exhale, as you bring it through, we're going to place your shoulder down on the ground, getting a nice stretch throughout
the outside of your shoulder. Facing your side of your head to the ground.
I'll turn this way so I can see you.
You can experiment with how you turn your torso to get deeper or lay off of this stretch a little bit. Turning like this. You experiment, it's your body.
Very nice. Coming back up to tabletop. We're going to go to the other side now. So inhaling your arm up. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale it up. Really separating those hands. And bring it through. Inhale it up. And this time we're going to place it down. All right, and coming out here. Coming to all fours, we're going to push back and do a child's pose. This, if you have compromised knees, this is where you might want to take a block or a blanket, place it in your knees there so you don't overflex. Or if it's a kneecap issue, you can place a nice fluffy blanket underneath the knee for some extra cushioning. There's different versions of child's pose.
So you can have arms straight and active.
You can have
your arms tucked and just be in a tiny little ball. I like this one because I feel you get a real thorough stretch throughout your spine. You can even rest your hands on your lower back to get some extra traction.
And this is also where you go to if you're done with a pose or if you're not able to do it. Listen to your body, and it's a good place to go. If you're in a class, it shows the instructor that you've purposely opted out and you're taking a rest. Right. And then from child's pose, we'll come up, tuck our toes, and come up into a down dog. In down dog, you want your elbow creases forward, your tailbone to the sky, head relaxed so you can nod or shake it. Essentially, you're going to get your heels down as much as you can, fingers strong. Fingers act as shock absorbers so you're not dumping into your wrists. And you can also walk your dog. Getting a little bit more into the hips, which is a common tight area for us golfers. I really like doing this, really twisting into it, feeling it through the hip. All right. I'm going to transition into a plank, so just bringing your weight forward. Getting your shoulders above your wrists, engaging your core, back of your ears up. Nice strong plank. And then we're going to go back to down dog. So we'll just flow this a few times. So let's inhale to plank, exhale down dog. Inhale plank. Moving with your breath. Exhale, down dog. All right, now staying in plank right here, we're going to slowly lower our knees. And now our elbows. Go to your elbows. And we can lower. All right. We'll linger here in a bit of a Sphinx pose for a stretch in the front of your torso again. And then we're going to carve our hips back, keeping your elbows in place. And we're going to have our hands to prayer above our head, getting your hips seated back as far as you can so you're feeling a stretch in your shoulder underneath here. I really like this one for shoulder mobility. Experiment with where you have your hands for more of a stretch into your triceps. And slowly coming out, placing your hands down on your mat, coming back into down dog. From here, let's take our right leg and place it between your hands into a lunge. Lower your left leg down. This is one place where you might need your blocks or something you might have grabbed to help support you, just to make it a little easier to get to the ground. Or your hands flat. Or you can even come up. Right here we're getting a nice stretch in the hip flexor, which is a common tight area for golfers. All right, placing your hands back down. We're going to go into a twist. So placing your left hand on the ground beside your right foot, we're going to bring our right hand up to the sky. This next sequence you can either do with your knee on the ground or you can bring your knee up. It's a little more challenging with it up, but it could be more comfortable as well. Okay, so you can choose to stay here or have your back knee on the ground. We're going to make sure your foundation is very solid, and you're going to come up. Twisting towards your bent leg. It takes balance and core stability, and we're going to reverse it. So bringing your front hand up, back hand on your leg, gaze is up at your top hand. If you fall out, come back. Okay, coming back the way we came. And hand on the ground. And both hands on the ground. And we'll switch to the other side by bringing your front foot back into plank. Down dog. And this time your left leg comes forward. Placing it between your hands. Lowering your knee down for now. Simply getting that stretch in your hip flexor. And placing your hands on the ground. Shifting your weight onto your right hand beside your left foot.
choose to stay here with your knee on the ground or raise your back leg. Feeling a really solid foundation before you come up. Nice strong twist towards your left side. You can even have this hand down for some more traction. And then reverse it. Back hand on your hamstring. And then coming out the way we came, back to twist. Hand on the ground. And then replacing your hand. Let's slide that foot back. Into plank. And down. Okay. We're going to walk our feet up to our hands. Linger in your forward fold here, gauging your kneecaps, getting a nice lower back stretch. And on your next inhale, let's engage your core, coming to standing. Arms up and wide, taking a deep breath in. And hands to heart center. In mountain pose, you have lots of muscles engaged. Standing up as straight as you can, crown of your head to the sky, kneecaps lifted, shoulder blades down your back. This is a good place to be mindful of where you shift your weight in your feet. Are you leaning a little bit forward? Are you a little bit back into your heels? Maybe side to side or rolling to the inside or outside of your feet. Try to find all four corners of your feet and balance your weight. Also very important when you line up to hit the ball. Pay attention to where your weight is, whether you're feeling solid before you strike that ball. Your feet are your foundation. From mountain pose, we're going to just lift our arms up, take a deep breath in, hold our hands at the top, and we'll move into a side stretch. Putting your right hand on your leg for support, we're going to reach that left hand over, letting that hip out a bit, getting a full stretch on this side of the body. And inhaling up to center, moving to the other side. More breath here. And coming up to center, let's just shake it out. We're going to do a little shoulder work here. So taking your right arm first, I'm going to do a full big circle with your gaze following your hand. I like to breathe in as I come up. Exhale as you come back and down. One more. And we'll switch direction. Same arm,
3 big circles. That's 1, 2, and 3. We'll switch arms, bringing it up and around, really big, stretching it as big as you can. And switch direction. Let's clasp our hands behind our back, straightening those arms, lifting your chest, getting a nice lengthening across the chest muscles. From here, we're going to bend those arms and place them on, let's say, your right hip. Bending the arm, placing on your hip, getting a bit more of a stretch. If you're moved to the right, you're getting it in your left shoulder. Then let's drop our head towards those hands, getting a good lengthening of those muscles in your neck and shoulder. I know for me, I tighten up in those. Just dropping your right ear to your right shoulder. Couple breaths here. As you inhale, bring your intention to that spot. As you exhale, relax into it. And transitioning to the other side. Bring your arms out and straight, maybe one more stretch, straight armed, and then bend them and bring them to the other side. Dropping your head. You can experiment with your head forward or back, or feel where your tight spot is. Maybe a little rotation of your head. Linger in the spot that feels like you need it or feels good. One more breath with intention. We're going to keep our hands clasped behind our back. Widen your stance. Come into a wide-legged forward fold. Bringing your hands up and over. Letting your head drop. Kneecaps raised, engaging your quads. Keeping your hips stable, maybe move your arms a little bit to the left or the right. Feeling a bit more intensity in the shoulders, front of your shoulders, and getting a little bit of a twist to the spine. Engaging everything, your core coming up. Being careful with your back. We don't want to put our back out while we're getting ready for golf. Very nice. And just heel toe your legs back to center. Maybe give your arms a shake. Just stand here and feel how you feel. Now this segment is where you're going to need your golf club. These are just a sequence of 5 different poses that you can do at the golf course on the first tee box while you're waiting your turn. This is a really good, easy thing to do just while even talking to your friends, waiting for your turn to hit. So starting with your club, arms straight and out. I want you to just twist. Just as far as you can. Don't be too aggressive. Just go feel it. Check out your range of motion. I'd recommend around 10 of these, perhaps, loosening up your spinal, your spine. You can get a little quicker into it to emulate your swing. And an important one is maybe swinging the opposite direction of which you usually hit, strengthening the opposing muscles. Very nice. Coming to center, we're going to get a little shoulder stretching here. So lifting up and over your head, slowly lingering, feeling where you're tight as you come back over, coming down. Just lifting up. Good place to stay is where you feel the tightest. For me, it's right about there. Experiment with how wide you hold your club. You might need to move it out a bit, or in if you're very flexible. All right. And kind of like what we just did without the club, we're going to widen our stance. Come into a forward fold, holding your club. Engaging your kneecaps. And then doing a little twist. Keeping your hips level and your core engaged to support your back. And again, linger where you feel you need to. Okay, coming to center, engaging your core, coming up to standing. You're going to heel toe your feet back in, or whatever's comfortable while you're on the course. And the last one, and very good one for your hips. Just holding your club like this. Getting a nice lower back stretch. Lengthening that spine, and you're getting a bit of a shoulder stretch, lower back stretch. Bend into your knees. And then to get deeper into your hips, cross your legs. Don't go too far, just gentle on your body. You never want to push yourself to the point of pain. It should feel good. Right, and coming out. There you have it. That's just some easy things you can do while you're on the tee box ready to tee off. Okay, and meeting me in boat pose. You want to sit up tall, get onto your tailbone, legs bent or straight, and arms straight and strong. Big toe mounds pushing outward. Very nice. From here, we're going to row the boat for a little core strength. So as if you have an oar in your hand, we're going to go side to side. Rowing down the Bull River. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. And in control, very, very slowly, let's lower back. Very good. Now bending your legs, we're going to come into reclined pigeon or figure 4. So
Placing your right foot over your left leg. We're going to thread our hands through and grab your thigh, flexing both feet. Pulling up on your left thigh in order to go deeper into your right hip. Right knee going outward. Breathing into it. With your inhale, have your intention on that spot that's a little tight, and as you exhale, let it relax a little. And from here, placing your left foot on the floor, keeping your legs crossed still. We're going to come into a twist. So shoulders stay on the ground and your right foot just twists over till it hits the ground. You can have your gaze the opposite way, so legs to the left, gaze to the right. You should be feeling this nicely in the outer right thigh. You can hold your right ankle to adjust, get a little deeper. You pull it inward a bit. Depending on whether you're a right-handed or left-handed golfer, this hip could be very tight. This is a stretch that I recommend if you do have time on the tee box, just to get a little more into your hips, as long as the grass isn't wet. Alright, engaging your core and coming back to center. We're going to take that leg off that knee, and just switch. So left foot on right knee now, lifting up and bringing your arms through, clasping that right hamstring. Flexing both feet. Perhaps working with your breath here. In that your intention is on where you need to lengthen. Letting go with each exhale. Okay, now placing that right foot on the ground, we're going to come into the twist. Keeping your shoulders on the ground. Just let your legs fall to the right. You should be feeling it into here. Okay, now releasing that, coming to center, uncrossing your legs, We're gonna have our legs bent still and just windshield wiper. So the knees going back and forth. Getting a nice massage in your lower back. Okay. And from here we're going to do a reclined butterfly pose. So you're putting the soles of your feet together, letting your legs open. You could take your blocks and place them under your knees if it's very strenuous. If you're not able to relax at all, place something underneath your thighs to support. And then we're going to take our arms in cowboy surrender. This is an opening for your inner thighs and for your chest. And then we're going to glide our arms. So keeping, if you can, if it's accessible to you, keeping your forearms on the ground, or as close to the ground as you can. I'm going to slide them up and down. Because our pecs get so tight sometimes, the muscles can actually pull the bone, the arm bone that's in the socket a little too forward. And then we get little pinches and limited range of motion. So this gliding helps lengthen those muscles and get that bone back in place where it should be. Okay, coming out of that, bringing our legs back to center. We've got one more pose, and then we'll be in Shavasana. So a happy baby, bringing your legs up, knees towards your armpits, grabbing onto the bottoms of your feet. You want to have your spine as flat on the ground as you can. And I like to roll just slightly off of my spine, one side or the other. It helps to lengthen some of the tight muscles around the spine. And then just gently roll into the other side of your spine. Very nice. And then we're just going to release into our Shavasana, so placing your legs down. And make sure your shoulder blades are flat on the mat. Get into a position where you can relax and let go. This is where your workout is done. You have nowhere to go, no one to be, nothing to do. Scan your body from head to toe. See if you're still maybe clenching something like your jaw, your abs, a glute perhaps. Scan your body and make sure everything is just letting go. Even your eyes, if they're darting back and forth, let them drop downward. As you come out of Shavasana, maybe just start taking some deeper breaths, rolling your wrists, rolling your ankles, maybe even giving your wrists a little stretch like this. Or sometimes this. We're going to roll to our side and in fetal position, resting your head on your arm. Slowly gazing, gently opening your eyes with a soft gaze. Maybe giving yourself some gratitude for the practice, for being good to your body. And coming up to seated. All right, I hope you feel a little more loose and ready to hit the links. Thank you for practicing with me. With gratitude. Namaste.